Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. It is so weird. They only come on this chair when I am filming Peterisms videos. I guess they really like to hear, you like the meditations, don't you? He said, Dad, it makes me very serene and brings me so much peace. Okay, do you want to help me pick the book today? He said no, he jumped off. Do you want to help me pick the book today that we're gonna read? Happy February 20th. I was just like thinking to myself, I was like walking around and I was putting candle waxes in and I was thinking to myself, I'm obsessed with that rose candle wax, by the way. And I was thinking to myself, it's so weird, like New Year's is over and Valentine's Day is over, February is almost over. It's just like this year seems to be going so fast, doesn't it? Okay, let's pick a book. Which book do you want to pick? That one right there, are you sure? He said, A Time to Be Free. He put his nose towards that one. And then which other one? A Daily Book of Positive Quotations. Okay, we will read those two. Which one should we start with? You tell me which one to start with. Boo Radley, he's gonna pick which one to start with. He said A Time to Be Free. Do you wanna come up here, Boo Radley? He has not been feeling great today. His dad texted me and said that when he took him out this morning, Boo Radley was, you know, having the messy poops this morning, so he wasn't feeling very good. But he seems to be feeling fine now. And before I knew that, I gave them each a little beef jerky, and they seem to really like it. But he's been running around in the backyard, and he seems fine. You feeling okay? He said, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun today. Okay, we're gonna read A Time to Be Free, Daily Meditations for Enhancing Self-Esteem, February 20th. This channel is quickly becoming a dog channel. Do you know that, Tucker? He said, yeah, what's your point? He said, what's wrong with the dog channel? Can you guys just see his little face when he looks up? I'm not obviously watching the screen when I'm reading and stuff, but does his face pop up ever? Does it? Now, Boo Radley's sitting over here. You wanna come over here? Come on, honey. Well, here. Come on. Make a little bridge for you so you can walk over. Okay, February 20th. No matter how many times we've been through it before, we always seem to forget that a bad attitude has the potential for ruining just about any kind of experience. The negative attitude we bring into a business meeting, for example, keeps us from listening and participating. Instead, we end up sullenly judging everyone. In the same way, our gloomy outlook at a family get-together causes concern and even spoils everyone else's good time. Is there something we can do to turn the tide when we are being swept away by a negative attitude? The first thing we can do is to stop and think seriously for a moment about where our attitude is taking us. Chances are we'll decide we really don't want to go there. We can next ask ourselves if there is anything we can do to change the way we feel. What can we do to improve the meeting? How can we stop thinking about ourselves and get involved in positive ways with our family members? Finally, we can try to sort out the little annoyances that have shaped our negative attitudes and thereby diminish their importance and influence. Thought for today: it is rarely possible to alter another person, a place, or a thing. It is always possible to alter an attitude within ourselves, I think. I think it's a really good meditation, and it's something I haven't really talked about on here, but don't you hate a negative Nancy, a bitter Susan? I mean, I really, really do, you know? And what's even worse is when you are the negative Nancy or the bitter Susan, and you have realized that, you know? Like, it's been pointed out to you, or you just know, like, you're just having one of those days, and you're just like, I'm in a really negative space today. The way that my friend Tanya and I say it to each other is that we have no business being around anybody else today. You know, I have days like that I'm just like, I have no business being around another human being today because I am just, I'm not in a good space in my head. You know, I think for a long time, well, I've shared this story on here before. I was someone for a very long time that saw the glass as half empty instead of half full, and would always, in any situation, see the negative that was going to come out of it. And I was very much a pessimist. I was not an idealist. I wasn't, you know, looking at the positive that could come out of something. My husband, as sarcastic as he is at times, he is really, really a positive person, like in every situation. And when we first got together, so his birthday is around Father's Day, and he had this huge party at this like pool here in Indianapolis that used to have like this on Sundays. They would have like this pool party thing. It was called Rehab, and he got a cabana, and it was very expensive. And this was like the summer after we started dating. he invited like 40 people or something like that, right? I can never remember how many people, but he invited like 40 people. And 4 people showed up because it was the Saturday of Father's Day. And it was the Sunday after Father's Day. And so a lot of people were doing Father's Day stuff. And, Boo Radley, do you want to be on camera? He said, well, I guess. So a lot of people weren't there. But the whole time I was so like, just like, I was a bitter Susan. I was like, I can't believe you show up to everything. My husband is the person that shows up to everything. I mean, all my friends joke. Like Tanya, she's always like, oh, Alex has another birthday party. I mean, he's constantly going to birthday parties and bridal showers and baby showers. And I've started to go to a lot of that stuff with him. But he goes to so much. I mean, every week there's 2 things that he has to go to, right? And he always participates in other people's lives. And it's such a cool thing that he does. I really, you know, I love that because in the past, my social anxiety would keep me from participating in those things because I would think, oh, they don't really care if I'm there or not. But the reality is when you invite people to something, you invite them because you want them there, typically, you know? And so he shows up and, you know, people love my husband at parties and events and things like that. But he shows up to everybody's stuff. And I remember this birthday party, only 4 people showed up. I mean, to this day, I remember the 4 people that showed up. And I was like really, really upset about it. I was, you know, just whatever. I was totally put out by the whole situation. And the whole time I was like, you know, he's out there in the pool and he's enjoying himself and he's having a great time and he's dancing and the DJs are playing the music that he wants to hear and all this kind of stuff. And he's having a great time. And I'm just sitting there in this cabana just being as bitter as possible, drinking a Diet Coke, right? Thinking about everybody that didn't show up and whatever. And my day is ruined. Like, I have allowed it to ruin my day. Have you ever done that? Have you ever allowed your attitude, your self-imposed attitude to ruin your own day? And everybody else's too. You know, okay, only 4 people showed up. They're all in the pool and they're dancing around. And instead, I had the choice to be in the pool with my husband, dancing around and having fun. Or I could sit in the cabana and complain in my head about all the people that didn't care about my husband. Which one did I choose? I chose to sit in the cabana and complain in my head, right? Instead of participating in his birthday. So the day is over and we're leaving. And I said to him in the car, I said, aren't you upset about all of the people that didn't show up? You know, which why would I bring that to his doorstep anyway, you know? And he looked at me and he said, I would rather focus my attention on the 36 people that showed, or the 4 people that showed up than the 36 that didn't. And, you know, he always looks at his life that way. I mean, everything, you know? If there's any, and I have learned, and I don't complain about things the way that I used to. He has had such a positive impact on me. And I think that when we choose to, you know, bring people in our lives that speak positively and have a positive attitude about them, you know, and a light to them, I think that it really, really affects our souls as well. And with any situation, you know, like if I'm complaining about something, he'll always look at the opposite of it. He'll always look at the opposite of it. You know, like, let's say if we want to go on a trip, if we want to go, like we're wanting to plan a trip to like Thailand and Fiji for my 50th birthday in a couple of years. Well, he'd go this summer if we could. But like I'll say, babe, that's an expensive trip. Like I don't know how we're going to do it. He'll go, we'll figure out a way. We'll just start saving money. Like you always think negatively about stuff. We'll figure out a way. We'll start saving this and we'll start saving that and we won't go do this and we won't go do that. I mean, he's always really positive about everything, you know? And, you know, even I think when it comes to really sad things, like he tries to look at them in really positive ways as well. I mean, he allows himself to feel his feelings. He's really connected to his emotions, but he has been such a teacher for me in my life as far as really seeing that for every situation that you're going through in life, there is a positive. Today, I try to be, you know, a solution in any situation. You know, my friend Tanya always has said, are you part of, to anybody, are you part of the problem or part of the solution? Well, that doesn't necessarily have to just be a problem that we're having and we're trying to solve. That can be a night out, you know? And maybe there's somebody that's a bitter Susan. Like, are you going to be a bitter Susan too, or are you going to enjoy the evening? Today, I try to be an asset to any social environment that I'm in. You know, if I'm at a party or if I'm out with my friends, I try to have fun. I try to be fun in that situation, and I try to enjoy myself. And if I'm at a point where I can't, that's the point where I need to remove myself from the situation, you know? But I don't make excuses today about, I know Boo Radley, he said, I want to be in the video. But I don't make excuses today about being, you know, negative Nancy and whatever. I think one of the things that's interesting is I noticed today often when people will bring to people and say, what's going on with you? Like, you seem really negative today. No, I'm not. I'm not negative. What are you talking about? You're negative. I'm not negative. You know, you're the one that's always angry. It's like I always see defensive with people in my life. And I think I see it so much because it's such a mirror for me of how I used to act. That when people would bring to my attention, you know, how I was being really negative or whatever, that I just would be like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? You're the negative one, you know? I was the negative one. And it was my attitude that needed to be worked on. And so I needed to work on that. That's a good meditation, isn't it, boys? You guys did a good job picking it. Okay, hold on. Daddy needs a sip of coffee. Okay, you wouldn't like coffee, Tucker. He said, oh, yes, I would. I would love one of those frappuccinos. I've heard they're really good. What? He said, I love those barcachinos. These dogs are, they're a lot when you're trying to read meditations. Do you see this? They're a lot, okay? We're just a fun-loving family here, aren't we? Okay. February 20th, between the dogs and I don't have my readers and the ring light and everything. Okay. Absurdity. That's exactly what all of this is, absurdity. Okay. February 20th, absurdity. Humor is our way of defending ourselves from life's absurdities by thinking absurdly about them. Lewis Mumford. There's almost nothing that can't be helped with a healthy dose of humor. We could rail in anger and frustration about our relationships, work, politics, or the world in general, but it's a lot more fun and more useful to laugh instead. Taking life with a dose of humor can relieve stress, improve mood, help us cope with change, and put things into clearer perspective. Instead of becoming annoyed today, I will look for the humor in whatever it is that is threatening to irritate me. That is such a great meditation. I have to tell you what, this is so dumb, but I just love to laugh. I love to laugh to the point of you can't stop laughing. Like in the hotel room this weekend, Alex and I, okay, so I was at the end of a vlog and Alex started mooning me. And I don't know why, but this whole thing turned into this just half an hour of just laughing about just stupid stuff. Do you ever do that with your partner? And then Tanya and I, we just get giggling about the stupidest stuff all the time, you know, and when I'm at the, casino with my good Judy, Valerie and stuff, and we'll be like, I'll start dancing to music, and she loves this song. Oh, I can't think of what the song is. It's on my phone, by Evelyn Champagne, and she loves it. We'll just dance and stuff. But last night, I was, looking through YouTube videos. Yeah, people always ask me, they're like, what do you watch on YouTube? I watch the most random stuff, right? And I hadn't seen RuPaul on Saturday Night Live. I very rarely watch Saturday Night Live. And, RuPaul had been on, why are we wrestling, boys? What is it, boo? No, we're not gonna wrestle, okay? But anyway, they are both fighting for the lap here. They're both fighting for attention. But RuPaul was on Saturday Night Live this last weekend. Oh my God, he was hilarious. Okay, there's this one skit that is RuPaul and another person, and they're it's called Splitting Checks. Look up the RuPaul Saturday Night Live clips from this weekend on YouTube, or this weekend or the weekend before, but trust me, they're all hilarious, okay? And it's called Splitting Checks, and they're in this restaurant, and it's a group of coworkers that have gone out to dinner for somebody's birthday, and they're gonna split the check over this person's birthday. If you've never watched Designing Women, you won't catch on to it right away, but there's an episode of Designing Women where Julia Sugarbaker is in the bathroom, and I think it's at Suzanne Sugarbaker's reunion, and this girl is talking about her to another girl. They're talking about how much weight Suzanne has gained and stuff like that. And Julia overhears the whole thing, and she lets them have it, and she's like, let me tell you something, Charlene. And that was the night the lights went out in Georgia. Well, I'm watching this thing, and from the beginning, I'm like, if you've never seen this episode, you wouldn't know that this is supposed to be Julia Sugarbaker, right? And so it's RuPaul and this woman, and it's hilarious, okay? And then at the very end, this one guy goes, aren't they just temps? It's hilarious. And then there was another one, and it's called The Library, or Reading in the Library. It's the best one ever. And if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, RuPaul always does this thing called reading is fundamental, and he says the library is open, and reading is is an old term that gay men would throw shade at one another, right? I don't know, how could I throw shade at one of the dogs? I'm trying to figure out how to throw shade at one of the dogs. You know, if Tucker right now looked at Boo Radley and said, oh, you think you're awfully important, don't you, to be sitting at the top of the lap, and then stepped in front of him or something, you know what I mean? So it'd be, anyway, it's just you kind of throw some shade. But anyway, he is supposed to be reading at the library to these kids. It's so funny. He's picking up these books, and he's reading, what is it? Oh God. Madeline, that book, and he's like, girl, you think you're up in the Eiffel Tower. That ain't the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower's in Paris, not the woods. Girl, you've never even been to Paris. And then he picks up Harriet the Spy, and he goes, Harriet the Spy, he goes, girl, bye. He puts it down. It's so funny, you guys. You have to watch it. And you know, I was talking about this on my vlog the other day, is that like, I was talking about it with one of my friends too, that, you know, my mom loved dramas when she was younger, but as she got older, you know, she started exclusively just watching funny movies. I mean, she liked the dramas too, you know, and they were her favorites, but she would watch so many funny movies, and I would say, I'm literally scratching the necks of 2 dogs while I'm doing this video. I'm multitasking. But I would say, Mom, why don't you watch all these serious videos or movies anymore? And she'd say, I love those. I really do. She was like, but you know, like, Peter, like, stuff is so serious in life, you know, and in the world, that she's like, at the end of the day, I kind of need to have a little bit of a laugh. And I think it's so true, you know, and I think that movies are a good way to do that for us, and funny sitcoms and books and things like that. So anyway, let me know some ways that you guys laugh in the comment section below, and go check out the RuPaul Saturday Night Live, and then come back and comment. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.